Hey everyone, welcome to this fourth stimulus package update for today. And Joe Biden and the Biden administration and all of Congress were back at it today. In fact, they had a meeting earlier today in which they met to discuss things they wanted to include in the infrastructure package. And I'm going to let you know how it went, what were some of the thoughts from both Democrats and Republicans, what was discussed, and what's coming up for further discussion. Hey everyone, my name is Randy and welcome to the Late Night Grind. And in this channel, I'm covering these stimulus package updates along with some other financial topics. So if you're new to the channel and you want to follow along, go ahead, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to tap the bell notification icon. That way YouTube will send you a notification when I release a new video. And of course I do that when I get some new developments. And I like to keep these videos short and to the point, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So the Biden administration met with both some Democrats and some Republicans to discuss the future of this infrastructure package in terms of what they want to include, what they really want to focus on through this infrastructure package. Now, some of the Democratic lawmakers came out and said, well, the true or the definition of infrastructure that we're using now isn't exactly the same as it was, say, 10, 20, or 50 years ago. Obviously, things like nationwide broadband were not even a topic 20 or 30 years ago. And of course, now a bunch of other things, mostly revolving around green energy and some other things like that, that were, again, previously not talked about in infrastructure plans. Now, one of the sentiments from one of the Republican lawmakers who was actually a member of the Ways and Means Committee who was in these meetings basically said that some of it sounded really interesting and there were some definitely some good things they were being discussed in this package. However, he said a couple of these things were absolutely non-starters. One of which being how they're going to pay for this, which is to raise taxes, specifically on businesses. Now, here's where it raises an interesting conundrum. Because in order to get a bill like this passed, at least the first part, we're not even talking about the second part where they're now talking about more child care money, elder care money, and that's probably where the stimulus money would also fit in, is in this part two. But in this part one, raising business and corporate taxes, there's now basically business groups coming out, business economists and groups that have been doing studies on what the effects it would have on the economy if the tax rate went to 28%. One group said that would result in the loss of over approximately 1 million jobs if it went to 28%. Others say similar things, not necessarily that high, but overall that it would not be good for job creation. And in something called an infrastructure bill, which is made to move the economy forward, it just doesn't really make sense. And this is where another roadblock lies. And his name is Joe Manchin. He's a Democratic senator, and he was the one that was going to be a potential roadblock for the last stimulus package. In fact, some of his ideas were, Joe Biden basically had to compromise on some of the things he originally wanted because Joe Manchin said he was not going to vote for this unless it did or it didn't include certain targeting things. So in my opinion, I think that's what the Biden administration is going to be up against because they're clearly not going to get any Republican support unless this is just drastically cut in half. And I just don't foresee that happening. They're not going to get rid of the filibuster. There's too many Democrats in the Senate that are against getting rid of the filibuster, meaning they need 60 votes, meaning they would need 60 votes to pass a bill. So they're going to have to go through budget reconciliation, which they can do, but they need every single Democrat on board and voting for this. And as of right now, Joe Manchin said if it includes a 28% tax rate hike, he will not be voting for it. That is a non-starter for him. In fact, he would only go as high as 25%. So you're already seeing some of the door cracked open a little bit for more negotiations and possibly putting this through. And I see the same kind of thing coming along for the second part of this fourth stimulus plan, which is most likely going to include a lot more of the social spending. So if you want to stay on board with that, don't forget to hit the subscribe button for this channel. I appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, and I'll see you guys on the next video.